welcome back, guys, to Streaming Strawberries. We're here again at the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center in Waimama, Florida. Welcome to the people who are joining us for the first time, and welcome back to the ones that joined us last time. We promised we'll be out in the field, but we'll talk about that shortly. Right now, I'm with three scientists. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. But first, actually, my name is Cesar Zamora. I'm with Streaming Strawberries, and let me introduce you to the guys now. To my right, it's Carol, Adrian, and Galvin. Do you guys wanna introduce yourselves?
Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Carol. I'm a biological scientist at the Gulf Coast Research Education Center, and we are here at the Strawberry Pathology Lab because we want to try to get plants out of their diseases.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrian. I'm a scientist working with strawberry diseases at University of Florida.
Hello everybody, my name is Galvin Alonso Ortiz. I'm from Dominican Republic, and I'm a PhD student here at the Strawberry Pathology Lab at the GCREC of the University of Florida.
And let's meet again our Streaming Strawberry team. We have a different one, so let's see who's behind the cameras. To our right, we have our fearless director, Caitlin. Say hi. To her left, we have Kylie on the Q&A. So if you guys have questions, please send her and keep her busy. We need her busy. On our camera one, we have Stephanie. Camera two, we have our leader, Dr. Loizo. She doesn't like being in it. But thank you guys very much. Thank you to our communication team so all of this can happen. But let's go into topic. Let's have Adrian here introduce to where we are and talk a little bit about the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. But actually, I do have to say, like I said at the beginning, sadly in my indoor clothes, I wish I would be in my outdoor clothes. We were supposed to be outside, but it's raining. It's a very bad weather right now. But we have a video of how everything looks that we took this morning. Take us there.
Hi guys, this is Carol again. So we are here on our strawberry field at the Gulf Coast Research Center. Unfortunately, it is a rainy day, as you guys can see. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to take a look on our field, how our strawberries are looking like. Most of our experiments, they are about 40 days after planting. We already have some strawberries coming on the trials, and we're gonna take you guys inside to the lab. But for you guys to take a look on the strawberries, we have about 15 acres for testing all the strawberries on the different programs. On our lab where we check the diseases, we have about 20 different experiments where we test products, we test types of strawberries, we test how the weather, like rainy days like today, how they affect the strawberries, and what we can do to decrease the amount of disease the growers are having in their fields. I'll see you guys inside.
And we're back inside. So let's have Adrian here explain a little bit what your area, your department does at the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center, and let's start the conversation from there.
Okay, sure. So first off, let's start with why strawberries, why we do research on strawberries. So Florida is the second largest state after California, which generates the majority of the production of strawberries to the U.S. and outside. So in majority of the production takes place right here in Hillsborough County, specifically Plant City. So the university provides this research program focused on strawberries to help growers with any problems they might have during the growing season.
Yeah, so we're here to study strawberries and see how we can prevent diseases. But a little more general, right now we planted the strawberries, we just saw the video, but what season are we on right now? What growing season is it right now?
Good question. So the strawberry season starts at late September, beginning of October, when growers plant strawberries in the field. So by now, plants are already established, meaning the plants are already adapted to the new home, and right now they are in the growing stage. They're getting bigger, stronger, and producing flowers. These flowers will soon develop into fruits in about 2 weeks, and once the fruit starts turning red, that's when we need to start harvesting.
Okay, and is the weather that we're having right now, the kind of gloomy, cold, rainy, is it better for them? Is it worse for them?
Actually,
how does it affect them?
Cold weather is actually better for strawberries. It makes the strawberries sweeter.
Oh,
So
better
it is
sweeter,
a good.
okay.
But this weather, when we have a lot of humidity and rain, is bad for diseases because it provides the right conditions for it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So right now, is it a little too hot, a little too cold for them? Are they happy and sweet, or are they
Right now this is like perfect conditions for the diseases actually.
perfect condition for the diseases? And that means perfect conditions for you guys to
Yeah.
work because you get a lot of diseases. So, okay, so we're here to prevent diseases, right? So all of this is happening. How do we go? How does the center, what does the center do to prevent those diseases or to treat those diseases? If you can talk a little bit about that.
Of course. So to prevent diseases, growers can use strawberries or cultivars that are resistant to pathogens. But to develop these resistant cultivars, it takes a lot of time. So to give an idea, between 7 to 10 years to come up with a new cultivar.
And a cultivar is?
A cultivar is like a variety.
Variety, yeah.
So basically, like you have many type of dogs, many breeds of dogs. It will be this strawberry has a lot of type of strawberries.
Okay,
That
so
makes
breeds
sense.
of strawberries. Okay, nice. I
Pretty
like
much.
it. Yeah.
And then a faster way to help them protect the plants from getting sick is basically Florida scientists developed and released in 2009 a so-called strawberry advisory system, which is a wet-based disease forecast, which basically it will tell you whenever there is a risk for pathogen infection. And then how does the system know when the disease might happen or might occur? Because it takes in consideration two weather factors, which is leaf wetness duration and the average temperature during that wet period.
Okay.
And then there's a threshold. Once we reach that threshold, then the system indicates the system, okay, there is a risk for disease infection. And once that happens, the system sends either text message or a email notification to anyone who has subscribed to the system.
Oh, okay. So there's something in the field that's taking weather measurements, and with that, the website makes sort of a prediction. And is that something that was developed by UF, or is that something that you guys adopted from somewhere else? How is that adoption to the website?
So yes, so the data is taken in weather stations that are distributed throughout the state, and that sends that the weather station sends the data to the computer analyzes it, and then once that is done, it sends out notifications. And it was developed by faculty here at UF. Yes.
It was a UF owned thing.
Yes.
Nice, amazing. And it's sort of is it sort of a AI, like the app or website does it themselves, or is there actually a scientist looking and saying, oh, there is
a program that does, and then there is also like a threshold. So once you reach that threshold, the program is programmed to recognize that and immediately send alert.
Ah, amazing. And I know the website or the apps around here. If you can take a look and talk about that, it'd be great to see it in action.
So this is how the app looks, like the website. And as you see here, we have Florida, the state, and all these like dots are the weather stations, like you see here. So if I zoom in, we have Tampa right here, Plant Cities in this area. So if I tap here, they will give me the weather station that is located here at the University Research Center, and which is the BOM. And then here we have the predictions for two diseases, anthracnose and botrytis. So as you can see the fluctuating line. If we are in the green, means we're clear. There is no risk for disease infection. But if we start getting to the yellow part, which is moderate risk, or the red part, which indicates it's a higher risk for disease infection. So once that occurs, we usually recommend the growers, if it is in yellow, you can apply a certain type of fungicide. If it is in the red zone, you need to apply a more stronger, more broadcast fungicides.
Oh yeah, and let's talk about that. That's very interesting. So this. Its application is to actually know when to use stuff like fungicide and pesticides, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something that's useful for the growers because they're not just spraying and wasting all this money.
Correct. So basically, before in the past, growers used to have a calendar-based application, meaning they will apply every week, even they need it or not. And then sometimes you have a more than 20 applications per season. With this method, we help them reduce the application in half. So now they do 10, and it's only when needed, because if there is the environment conditions are not conducive, the disease will not develop. So this tells us when the conditions are conducive for the disease, and then when they should apply to have better application of the product, and also is economic. They save some money on applications. Yeah.
Absolutely, that is a very useful solution for that, and that's one way that we see that technology is actually helping producers.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it is good, and that is one part I really like about working in this program, is that we get to work directly with the growers and help them in any problem they might have. Right now, the system is adapted for 2 diseases, as I mentioned before. But I'm working, have an ongoing experiment where I'm trying to adapt this system to another disease.
Oh, your own experiments are going to be part of the solution to the growers.
Yes, which is very exciting. Yeah.
Very, very exciting. That's like I said, another example of how technology is happening. Thank you so much, Adrian,
of course,
for your time. And we're gonna go to the questions and answers. Let's see if someone has a question for you, and you can help us out. Okay. See you in a bit.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna get situated in here. Okay, Adrian. So we're at the Gulf Coast Research Center, but what all do you do here?
We do a lot. So right now we are specifically in the strawberry pathology program, but at the center we see a lot of different crops like vegetables, and then different areas. For example, there is also strawberry breeding, which they are in charge of developing the new varieties of strawberries that have more resistance to different pathogens. There is another program where they study insects that are malignant for plants, and then ways to control them. There's another program that we have like weeds. We know any not desired plant in our area is a weed. So how do we control that?
Definitely. And so this is an app that you were just talking about. And so how do farmers or growers, how do they get figure out where this app is at?
So we usually send them email notifications and informing them, and then the link for registration, which is free. Anybody can register, but it's most useful for your growers to be able to follow up and see when and what they should apply.
Definitely. Okay, so Timmy would like to know, if a strawberry gets disease, can it be cured and consumed?
So if it gets disease, no, it cannot be cured. And then once it gets disease and starts showing symptoms, I don't know if you guys ever left strawberry way too long in the fridge. Like 2-3 weeks later, you go and look at it, it has some mold on it. So that also happens in the field. So if you look at strawberry that looks like that, you're probably not gonna eat it, right? So that's pretty much trash, so no.
Fair. That was a great question. Okay, David said, when did you discover strawberries were your passion and wanted to research them?
So funny enough, strawberry came along with like a secondary thing. So my passion is plant pathology, which is the study of microorganisms that cause diseases on plants. That is my passion. But whenever I try to do my master's and my PhD, I contact the Dr. Peres, and then her program, she focused specifically on strawberries. So that's how I ended up working on strawberries.
Gotcha. That's a fun story.
Yeah.
So we have another question. It says, how often are new diseases discovered with strawberry plants? And then also, how do different varieties have similar pathogens?
Good question. So funny enough, around the same time, a little bit before we have COVID, we also have a new emerging pathogen for strawberry. And we were joking in the lab saying that's a COVID for the strawberries because it was something new, it spread super fast, and pretty much nothing could control it. So it's not often, but it does occur. So in the 10 years that I've been working with strawberry, it's the first time that I see a new emerging pathogen.
Gotcha. Okay, I think that's our last question in the our chat here. But a question for you is, what is your favorite part of your job here?
Good question. My favorite part of the job is pretty much working directly with the growers. So in Gainesville, when you go and you do your classes and all your coursework, you get to do a lot of the material in the department and kind of like the academic side of things. Here at the research center, we get to work closely with the growers and get to listen to them, like what is the actual problem they are currently going through, and we get to help them. So I feel like my work all the work that I do here in the lab or in the field is actually helping somebody out there. So that's the most gratifying thing.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you, Adrian, for your time. And then I'm going to hand it back to our host.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
You're
we'll
welcome.
See you in a bit. And yeah, thank you for letting us know what the research and education center here does. Now that we learned that what they do is study diseases and how to treat them, let's talk to Carol a little bit about now that we know that what's happening. Let's talk about fungicides and all these other ways to prevent diseases or to treat diseases. So I have Carol here with me.
Hi, everybody. So Adrian just talked about how environment can kind of like help the pathogens to infect the plants. I want to talk about what we can do once we have the disease present on the strawberries. So one of the things that we do here in the lab is trying to find new chemicals or new biological products like other bacteria that we can apply on the strawberry plants or the fruit, and how that product can help the plant to don't get sick. Okay, so I have this really cool machine. It is like a robot for lab studies. It basically applies a chemical. It can be bacteria suspension or a conventional product, and then I have the application here on the plate that it helps me to check what is the concentration of the product that I might need to use in the field to control the disease. So
do we have the disease in these plates or in this plates here, or this is just the treatment that we're...
So this would be the idea how the treatment is applied on the plate. Okay, so the plate is a food source for the pathogen. Okay, this plate in the case is made by potato and gelatin. This is just a demonstration how the product is applied. We have the pathogen growing on this plate, and then if you want to get this plate too.
Oh no.
It's okay.
I'm gonna create a new disease here.
So here we have the plate. This plate here, you can see the pathogen. This is the pathogen growing, this white flush like a cotton. This is the pathogen growing, but I don't have product on this plate on my hand.
Okay.
On the other plate, we do have product applied, because you can see you have no growth here towards the center, but you have some kind of growth towards the end. What does that mean? This means that our higher concentrations is towards the center, and the lowest concentration of the product is towards the border.
Oh, okay. So with this, you kind of understand how much product you need to use for a certain disease?
Exactly.
Oh, amazing. And sort of without turning it on, because I know it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So you put it here, and is it a centrifuge or something that like turns it around?
Yeah, so
if you...
I have kind of like a syringe, and then the syringe does this application in a gradient deposition, and then I come later and I put my pieces of the fungus here, and then I evaluate it depending on the pathogen like 2 or 3 days later. So it saves a lot of time because I don't need to put one specific dose of the product in one plate. On this plate here, I have about 40 different concentrations of a product. So it saves a lot of time too.
It saves a lot of time, and it saves a lot of trying to figure out what's going to work, right?
Exactly.
All right. Do you also go out to the field and do stuff? Okay. So in the field, now that we realize and understood, because this is your first step, right?
Yes.
This is what you do.
My first step.
So when the disease is coming, you do all this to figure out the efficacy of the product, how much product you're going to use, and then you go out in the field.
Yes.
How does that look when you go out in the field and apply the amount that you know it's going to work?
So it can go either way because of the nature of the chemical, okay? Once you apply the chemical on a plate, that's a pretty controlled condition. In the field, you have everything happening. You have rain, you have sand, you have soil, you have the nature of the plant itself. So the product can work or cannot. Okay, but the field is basically we have different settings, also depending what kind of fungus you are targeting. Okay, we have fungus that they affect more the leaf of the strawberries or the fruit, and then we make the application on the canopy, the top part of the plant in the field. If the fungus is more affecting the roots, the underground part that is within the soil, then our products, they are gonna be applied under the soil, under that plastic that is on top of the batch, make sure it's gonna reach the pathogen on the plant.
And okay, so on the top, if you need to treat the leaves, it's a spray, right? It's a normal spray.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom, can you explain how that's applied?
Yeah, sure. On the bottom, we have tapes. Okay, because we have the tapes to make sure the plants get fertilizers, the plants getting irrigated. So that's how we have the tapes. So we kind of do a setting to test the product. So we insert 2 tapes close to the plants because we have 2 rows of plants.
Okay.
We insert those tapes, and then using those tapes, we apply the products underground.
Oh, so it's kind of like a dripping system.
It's a drip
directly
system.
to the plant. And are growers using the same strategy whenever they need to use product, or is it?
Yeah, it can be
expensive?
used. Whatever. So the growers, they have usually a single tape. And then we just build the system to make sure the product is getting on the plants. But it is a practice that the growers, they do follow the injections. It is really important.
Yeah, I'm assuming that everything you do here is applied to the growers, because the good thing about the lab and the job and the work that you do is that this is all applied to the growers. Because if you do something here that the growers are not able to do, it's useless for them, right? And it's not good for you either, because you're trying to help this people to bring strawberries to our watchers and everyone else, especially sweet strawberries.
Yeah, so that's the rewarding part of the job. It is a really applied program. So we do get to be in contact with the growers, and most of the times they tell us, this product's not working, or I need another solution, I need another way of manage this. So that's the best part, because we are always in contact with them. And actually, some growers, they do allow us to make some tests in their fields. So several of our projects, it is on commercial farms as well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. And yeah, like you said, this is all about helping the growers. But switching gears a little bit, we all want to learn something that we keep hearing, and it's pathogen resistance.
Yes.
So, can you explain first what pathogen resistance is, and then we'll talk about how to attack it and how to be better about it.
Yeah. So, pathogen resistance. So, a good example was what happened with us. So the growers started to tell us that they were applying a specific product and they were not seeing the disease being managed. Okay, so then we receive a lot of those plant samples, and from the plant samples we obtain the different pathogen colonies. In this case, it's gonna be this pathogen right here, which is called Coledotricum acutatum. It causes disease basically on the fruit, okay? So this little guy here was not getting controlled because they were applying this specific product. So we starting to do some tests, and then we were seeing that the product was not controlling the pathogen anymore. So that's when we saw the pathogen resistance, okay? A good example is this is a little plate that we don't have product, and this is a plate where the pathogen, it is being controlled. So we call it this pathogen sensitive because it's not growing.
Because the application, it's working, and it's killing the pathogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have this one, which is another colony. This one, it has the product in here, but it's completely growing. So this is telling to us that the product is not working anymore.
I see. So you applied something there, but it didn't kill it.
It didn't kill it.
I understand. So pathogen resistance is a very important thing that we need to care for our growers. And thank you very much, Carol.
No problem.
Carol, I hope it answered most of the questions, but we're gonna go actually to the Q&A.
Awesome.
See if there's any more, and please answer them.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Carol. How long do strawberry plants live?
So in Florida, we grow the strawberries as an annual crop. What does that mean? You give the whole cycle, you get the fruit, and then basically for Florida, when the weather is not conducive, we stop growing them, and then the growers, they usually apply some kind of herbicide, or they turn it off the irrigation and the plants kill it. So in Florida, I would say it goes like about 6 months. So from October until March, beginning of April maximum. Yeah.
Gotcha, that's a long season. Do plants have immune systems like people and animals?
They do. Yeah. That's where the breeding comes up. So they also try to breed new types of strawberries that are not as susceptible to disease as well. And always keeping the sweetness, of course. Shape, color, that's all important. Yeah,
Definitely.
but they do have.
Definitely. Okay, so does the product differ based on the disease, or is it just the amount of product?
They differ a lot. Yeah, because we have different types of pathogens as well. We have fungus, we have bacteria, we have non-true fungi, we have nematodes, which are like worms, we have insects. So all of those, they get different treatments, and of course among the different diseases, definitely different products. They have different behavior against the products. Yeah.
Great. Okay. What disease is the most prevalent right now?
So I would say people get more concerned maybe about the ones that you see on the fruit, because that's where the consumers can see, and the growers are visually to the growers. So I would say Botrytis fruit rot, also call it gray mold. It gets a really gray fluffy on the strawberry. We have this new disease that Adrian mentioned, the Pistalotia. It's really aggressive to the fruit. We have the anthracnose, which is the little guy from the plates. But that's for when the plant's producing fruit. We also have problems when we just plant the plants. That's the soil-borne pathogens that are present within the soil. Those are also really, really important as Phytophthora and Macrophyllum.
Fair. Okay. Fun question.
Yes.
So earlier you said that there, like, one of these dishes has potatoes and gelatin in it. What is your favorite ingredient to like put in with a plate?
Potato.
Potatoes.
You know why? Because you can grow basically everything on the potato plate. Yeah. So I do like I like the potato media. It's a pretty basic and like maybe universal type of media. So you can grow anything, and it's nice because if you see something different, it gets you like, oh my gosh, it's different, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question. How safe are these products that are applied for human consumption?
So all the products we work, they are under federal permits. So we test products that they are registered, so they have gone through environmental protection agents, health assessments. So everything is labeled and followed by the law. The products that they are not registered yet, we do test them, but usually when they get to the phase where we are testing, they have passed all the health, especially the health assessments. So strawberries are safe to consume as long as you follow the label of the product you are applying. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Carol, and I'm going to hand it back over to our host.
Thanks again, Kylie, and thank you very much, Carol.
No
You're gonna
problem.
be in between right here. Thank you very much, Carol, for answering our questions, and we'll see you in a bit. Now that we understand traditional methods of pathogen or disease like prevention and utilization, let's talk about new methods that are coming up in the lab. And for that, we have a little treat. Although we can't be outside, we're gonna walk around the lab, and we're gonna get you to see how the building looks like, and we're gonna get to something pretty cool. I heard it's something of a robot, so let's go over there, okay? So we're gonna be walking, and it's gonna be a little bit dizzy, but we'll make it work because we are scientists on the move. This is Galvin, and we'll be speaking with him in just a second whenever we stop walking. Like I was telling you guys, this is the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. This is their main building. Every different type of scientist is here for plant biology, plant pathology. They have many different crops, not just strawberries. Today we're just talking with the strawberry guys, and this is it. Galvin, if you wanna sit with me here, so it's a little nicer, and we can get to see the robot. Yeah, so let's just start talking from very basic stuff. So this is a robot, but what does he do, and how does he help us? What helps the strawberries?
Well, first thing first, the robot name is Thorvald, and
Thorvald?
Thorvald. Yes.
Okay, we need to talk about that too.
And this robot helps us to fight powdery mildew. Powdery mildew is a fungus that looks like kind of like a white dust on top of the leaves and also under the leaves, and it really harms the strawberries and their yield. So with this robot that uses ultraviolet light, we can control or manage this disease in our fields.
So powdery mildew, is that how you say it? Yeah.
Yes.
So is that a fungus? Is that a bacteria?
That's a fungus, and this fungus has several species, different genuses, and it can affect different crops. For example, tomatoes, cantaloupes. We have done work on cantaloupes, grapes, hops, and many others.
Okay, and is there different several species of powdery mildew that affect strawberries?
We have just one. The name is Podosphera fanis. That's the scientific name. It sounds kind of like a Harry Potter name, but we'll keep it there.
Yeah, I thought the couches were gonna move when you said that. But so that's good that it's only one species, because you get to attack it very very effectively.
Yes.
And is that what the UV light does to the powdery mildew? And can you talk a little bit about what happens with the ultraviolet light to it?
I'll expand a little bit more on that. So whenever you go to the beach, you use sunblock to protect yourself from the UV light that comes from the sun. And naturally, powdery mildew has their way to protect themselves in the field. And from the sun, you get different kinds of UV light, UVA and UVB. So this UV light is highly energetic, and it can harm the genetic code of the fungus. So what we do with the robot is that we do nighttime applications.
I was going to ask about that.
Of ultraviolet light, and we harm the DNA of the powdery mildew, so it cannot reproduce itself anymore, and it dies. The reason why we do it at night is because the powdery mildews have a natural way to repair the DNA inflicted damage from UV during the day, but not at night.
Do you recall how you all figured that out, that it was gonna be effective at night, not at day?
That was actually by accident, as many things happen in science, and it was not discovered here. There is a scientist called Suthaparan, and he was working, I believe it was in Norway, with cucumbers and tomatoes. And he was the one that tried doing the treatments at night, and he saw that difference.
Okay, and well, now that we have the robot here, I know it's indoors, but can you move it around?
Of
I know
course.
You have the controller. If you want to go up, and I'll help you out, and you can give us a little demonstration.
This robot, I can control it basically just with an Xbox controller, as you can see, and it moves forward, backwards, it can turn, and I can even change the speed of how it moves. But this was fundamentally developed to be used or to function autonomously. How does that work? So the robot has GPS signal receivers on both ends, and we program to do a special or a specific route in the field. And after we, with the control, we guide the robot to the field. Then on the field, we can tell it, okay, work autonomously, helped by the GPS signal.
Okay, so here it works autonomously. You control that to get to the rows, and then from there you just press a button and it does your job.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because here in Florida, labor is pretty expensive. So we do the treatments at night. That will be more expensive than having employees during the day. And just having the robot doing the treatments autonomously is a big help for the growers.
Yeah, otherwise you would have to have employees at night being here, spending their nights just controlling a robot. Yeah,
that's not nice.
I still think your job is pretty cool. You get to control a big robot that I heard was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so can you paint us a picture a little bit on how it moves, and maybe let's try to show the audience like how it would work, and yeah, because we can't see it.
So when we get the robot to the field, as you saw in the videos, we have planting beds where the strawberry plants are, and this robot will go towards a bed and with the lights on, the UV lights on, it will treat all the plants in that bed. The UV treatment is dependent on the speed of the equipment of the robot, and also the energy output of the lamps. So the slower you go, the higher the dose and the energy that you're putting into your plants and also into the powdery mildews. So one of our objectives with this research was to figure out which speed we'll need for the UV light treatment to work, and we figured that out. We can go like 2 or 1.8 miles per hour using the robot. That sounds pretty slow, but that's what is effective. And if you develop a longer robot, that will mean that your plants will stay more time receiving UV light. So you could go faster with a longer robot.
So that's sort of kind of like Carol was doing with fungicide. She was trying to determine the right amount of fungicide to kill a particular species, and you're doing the same thing with the UV light.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. So we see that there's rows. Does the robot actually, this is just for me, does the robot actually turn around by itself and goes into the next row?
Yes, it turns around. I don't know if you can show. I'll try to do it.
Yeah, let's turn it around.
So there's a button I can press, but I don't think it's working right now, that it will turn around by itself, like in the same spot. So it will be easier to get to another bed.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
And that's amazing. And we're not turning the lights on because it would be very harmful for us right now.
So as I mentioned earlier, the UV light is hazardous and pretty dangerous. So whenever we're using the robot, if we're gonna be close to it, we need to use personal protection equipment, so like goggles, a Tyvek suit, and we need to be totally covered, because this UV light is from the type C, which is more energetic than the one that we get from the sun.
Oh, even more energy. So
Yes.
it wouldn't even be compared to being outside
For
us without sunblock.
No.
If that's the case, and we are attacking or we're using the UV light to the strawberry plants, but the plants are in soil, in live soil, is it affecting anything else in the area?
So another objective of our research was to figure out which dose is not toxic to the plants, but it also works for powdery mildew. And because if you spend too much time on top of the plants, you're gonna toast them.
I understand. Yeah. So it's pretty much gonna kill and anything that's around it, just to that little area.
We have studies that show that it also works to fight spider mites, which are a big problem in strawberries. And they also tried to use it for trips, but it doesn't work for those.
I understand. It will be nice to talk a little more about spider mites, and maybe you can tell us during the question and answers, because I know beneficial spider mites are pretty interesting to a plant. It's an insect that's beneficial to a plant. But let's go to the questions and answers to answer questions, obviously, about from the kids, because I know they may have a ton, because this is pretty interesting. So
thank you,
Galvin. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so Hallie wants to know, how long does the robot have to shine the light on the strawberries for it to be effective?
So it's a matter of seconds. It could be on top of a plant running like for 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds. It's pretty fast.
It's really fast. Okay. Timmy's asked, is it possible to tell how old a strawberry plant is by looking at it?
Yes, you can. You can. I wouldn't say that I can say by looking, oh, this strawberry plant has 3 months. But with the number of leaves, you can really tell if it's really old. Also, they produce runners, which are like the childs from the strawberries. And by looking at those, you can tell.
Great. Okay. David would like to know, does the UV light help the plant's photosynthesis at night and grow bigger?
That's a pretty interesting question. I haven't heard anything about that. And if understanding photosynthesis, in photosynthesis you use white light from the sun, which is kind of different from the UV light, so I don't think the plants use it. But there's research that shows that UV light can activate immune responses from the plant against other pathogens. So it will be kind of similar to photosynthesis, but another chemical pathway.
Gotcha. Okay. One last question. It'll be a fun one. So you said that the robot has like GPS and kind of can go with it. I'm not very good at direction, so has it ever got lost?
No. We have lost connection and the robot like stops working, but it's never like he has gone to Tampa by himself. So it's pretty safe, the GPS connection.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of your wonderful answers, and I'm going to hand it back over.
Thank you very much, Galvin, and thank you for not losing the very expensive robot. But unfortunately, guys, this is it for our program. Thank you very much for coming in to watch us and watch our scientists make science a little bit sweeter.